Your focus and productivity is being ripped apart every minute of every single day. But luckily there is a series of methods backed by neuroscience that is allowing the top performers to work endlessly in a flow state, never lose focus and stay productive the entire day. This step-by-step protocol will rewire your brain to find it as interesting and as stimulating as social media, turning you into this productive machine that actually wants to work instead of procrastinating or avoiding it. You see, I've just about helped 50 entrepreneurs get into a flow state every single day for 6 hours, completely change their productivity, to love working and make 2 times more money in their business. Compare that to me 2 years ago, where I'm sitting at my desk, my eyes are darting everywhere because I'm trying to focus on my business for the 50th time in a day while I've got all these distractions on my desk. I turn to my left and my phone is literally buzzing constantly, and it got to the point where I'm not even joking you, I would turn my phone off and it would still click it to pretend like it was on. It took a few seconds to realize my phone was off, and that's how retarded I was. I've got loud lyrical music playing inside my ears. I've got 5 different YouTube tabs open on my screen, and yet I'm trying to build a 10k per month business. And I won't even lie to you, I remember that day so vividly. Like, I literally sat on my desk for 10 hours and I didn't even complete one bit of work. I just sat there watching YouTube, constantly looking at my phone, and then I'll get like 5 seconds of motivation, go to work, and then I'll just give up again. Every single day my goals seemed to be running away from me, like I was literally making less progress than the day before. And I would literally stare at the ceiling every single night for hours and hours, thinking tomorrow would change, building the perfect to-do list on my business, thinking I would suddenly just make money, it would just come to me right in my business. I would not keep on putting off work every single day, and my goals would just come to me. Of course, that never changed, because months after that, 6 months down the line, I'm still facing the same problems. I haven't made any progress in my business, I've actually made less progress. I'm looking around seeing everyone else making money, and I'm not. Do you think the great historical figures like Alexander the Great, for example, were scrolling on the phone or having any distractions in a day? Or do you think they were 100% productive every single day? Alexander the Great literally spread his empire 2 million miles across the world, the known world at that time, right? And to be honest, he would just laugh at us right now because we're facing this small problem of not even being able to do work. But when I would go on these calls with tons of entrepreneurs who were making millions every single year, I realized there was one common trait that all of these people had that most entrepreneurs lack. And it's nothing to do with the business, it's simply taking more action every single day. And that probably would tell you that if you solve this problem of productivity, not being able to get into a flow state, you will make money online. And the reason why you can't get into a flow state, you can't focus in a day, you can't work hard, is because you spend all your time prepping for the work but not actually working. If we think back to the Alexander the Great example, I don't think he was sitting there for days and days just waiting to conquer or planning where he's gonna conquer. He had like different Notion templates up, you know, he didn't have that. He would get his men and just charge towards the nearest village and take it over. He did that for years and years until he conquered half the world. The reason why you can't do the work is simply because you're not doing the work. Instead, every single day you prepare for the work. You have all these different Notion templates on your screen at all times. You constantly use these different productivity tactics like the Pomodoro, when all you need to do is just sit down and work. It sounds stupid, I know, but literally half your productivity problems will be solved if you simply just had the mindset to just sit down and work. And the reason why I say this is because of the first stage of the flow state is the struggle stage. You need to actually put your mind through mental blocks. You need to realize the mind is going to kick and scream at you every single time you go to sit down and work. And 5 to 15 minutes after that, the work becomes effortless. That's because you go through the struggle stage, you release all the cortisol inside your brain, the stress levels reduce, and so you get into a flow state. And I know preparing for the work, having all these to-do list calendars, like these Pomodoro techniques and stuff like that, they seem productive, I know they do, but that is not what's going to get you to work. Because if you actually had a good analysis on like the last week, you weren't taking action, you were preparing to take action. You were productively procrastinating every single day. If entrepreneurs didn't spend as much time preparing for the work and instead just worked, they would save 40 plus hours every single week. If you think to another person called Miyamoto Musashi, you've probably heard of him. He's known to be like the best Japanese swordsman to ever live. He was also known to be very disciplined. He would train for hours every single day with his sword, training against people, sparring people all the time. And let me just ask you a question. Do you think he would have been the best skilled swordsman if he spent all of his time every single day looking for the best sword? No. The only way he got to be the best swordsman is by practicing and actually walking through the fire in his mind every single day. The entrepreneur who literally sits down and works, doesn't have any productivity hacks, going to make way more progress in his business. But how do you actually get into a flow state and work hard? What did I understand suddenly that caused me to go from this person who couldn't focus, who spent months and months just not making progress in his business? And there was 2 things I understood suddenly that allowed me to go from this super unproductive self to be able to get into a flow state for upwards of 12 hours every single day. The first thing is to actually enjoy the work you're doing, because one of the best flow state triggers is called purpose purpose, passion, and curiosity. If you do not have these things, you will find it so hard to work consistently every single day. You rely on motivation when it comes. Do you think Miyamoto Musashi or Alexander the Great didn't enjoy their job? Miyamoto Musashi loved training with his sword. It was his purpose, right? He loved doing it. Alexander the Great loved being a leader, serving his men, conquering the world, because it gave him fulfillment, right? Now, it's kind of hard because if you're in a business and you've been doing it for 2 years and you're struggling to work hard, it's kind of hard to stop, right? But if you're sitting here and you've just started a business, you know, if you looked on YouTube looking at the best business models that make the most money, then I'd urge you to take a step back, stay away from those businesses, and think, what is your purpose? As soon as I switched from the business models that I absolutely despise, like copywriting or SMMA or AI automation agency, what the hell is that? And I went to my purpose, which was this. I started to go from working 0 hours every single day to working 12 hours. Because the thing is, even if you chase the business model that makes the most money, you're not going to make it because you don't work hard, you don't enjoy the work. But if you're an entrepreneur sitting here, there's one thing you can do to really make the work a lot more enjoyable, and it's simply to reduce the dopamine and stimulation in your life. Because the thing is, your brain is always going to operate on a dopamine baseline, and if the dopamine baseline is way above the work, then what happens is your brain will never focus, and it will constantly try to meet this new high. And that's why I always suggest my clients and every single person that I've coached that you should just wake up and get straight to work, because if you don't and you just chase stimulation, your dopamine baseline is going to be way too high to actually focus and work after that. So it's literally as soon as you wake up, just get straight to work, 5 to 15 minutes from when you wake up, okay? And also just lower the stimulation naturally in your life. You shouldn't really be playing video games for 5 hours a day. You shouldn't be scrolling on your phone for 5 hours a day, because bro, it's just not fun. Once you actually lower your stimulation, you realize how good the small things are in life. Going outside, that becomes the most fun part of your day, right? Now, the next mindset I gave to my clients, and I understood myself, that really skyrocketed my productivity, my ability to get into a flow state, is just realizing that you have to battle the mind to get into a flow state. There was always going to be a lot of mental resistance at the start of the task. Usually it's in the first 5 to 15 minutes at the start of the task. After that though, it becomes so easy because the brain becomes accustomed to the work. It realizes the perceptions you had about it being super difficult are not true. So you carry on focusing, you carry on working. Every single debug session I felt lots of mental resistance. I would always set a 5-minute timer to work on my business, and what that would do is, because 5 minutes, anyone can do 5 minutes of work, you know? What that would do is it would prepare my brain and would change my perception of the work to realize, okay, it's actually pretty easy. And you get into this positive feedback loop where you feel productive, so you carry on working, and that is how you get into a flow state. Those are the 2 things I understood and I gave to all my clients that allowed them to get into a flow state with ease. And I promise, if you just implement those 2 things, it will really skyrocket your productivity. And by the way, if you're a young entrepreneur who wants to get into a flow state for 6+ hours in a day, completely blow up your business, make more money online, click the first thing in the description to join my school community, where you can get access to a full flow state course, a personal one-to-one coaching call with me for free, and a bunch of other stuff there. So click the first link in the description to join that right now, okay? Goodbye, have a nice day. You're gonna elbow in the face again. Goodbye.